All right, guys. So I'm doing this setup a little bit differently for two reasons. One, because I had to essentially rush in to catch the premiere of this, so I didn't have time to like do my intro like I usually do. So I'm doing the intro after the fact. So hello, I'm Future McFly. First of all, I want to say that I'm a little bit groggy and a little bit, I would say, kind of high. Probably the right word. I woke up this morning, walked the kids to school, came home, took my kid for a walk, and I cannot walk on my left foot. So I took a lot of pain pills to just be able to function right now. So I want to say that I just got done watching the Ren's premiere of Money Ties, and it was heavy, man. I'll let my reaction speak for itself, but I wanted to preface it by saying he did post a community post on the background of this. If you haven't seen it on his community post, please read it. It's very interesting. I'll kind of summarize it. Basically, during this whole Cujo stuff that's been happening with Ren and Cujo, a producer reached out to Ren, basically saying that he kind of had the same thing going on with Cujo. Thought it would be poetic justice for them to work together to do the Cujo beatdown. Ren essentially decided, out of symbolism, that he should kind of make the Cujo beatdown his own work entirely. So this song that came out today, Money Ties, him and Naze, or Nazy, I don't know how you say it, produced this together, and they're splitting everything half and half, which is really cool. So that's great. Here's my reaction to this. Literally just released a video yesterday saying how I don't like to be emotional. Was emotional for this. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, new Ren just dropped. Thank you for the people who commented in my video from yesterday letting me know that this was happening, because I had no clue. YouTube's been a little bit of a bitch lately in notifying me of people dropping stuff, but here we are. I'm in the premiere now. I have chat closed just because I want to see this full screen in its full glory. So I'm going to give it about 2 minutes, and then we're going to go ahead and get started just so we don't have to see the countdown. All right, we're about 25 seconds. So just letting you guys know, I'm kind of groggy right now. I had to take a bunch of painkillers because my leg, I guess, gave out on me this morning after walking a bunch like I try to do every morning. So bear with me. Sucks getting old. All right, so we're going to get into it now. Run, Money Ties. Oh, I'm excited.
Godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into the world, and we cannot take anything out of the world. But if we have food and clothing, with these we will be content. But those who desire to be rich fall into temptation, into a snare, into many senseless and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evils. It is through this craving that some have wandered away from the path and pierced themselves with the many pangs of greed.
Okay, sorry. Before we get in, this is a conversation that I have often with my wife and in therapy about how her and I see money differently, right? And that's totally fine, right? But what I mean by that is couples can disagree in a lot of things and still coexist. Just like I feel people can disagree with things and coexist. It's how you work together to accomplish your goals. That makes sense, right? But for me, I am definitely one that thinks money causes more problems than it solves. The problem with money and human nature is that we always tend to want more of it. I feel like it's not just money, but anything, right? You know, I don't even have a good example. Like I said, my brain's not 100%, but just the more money you have, the more money you want. It's so easy to spend your money. It's very difficult to save your money because there's all that temptation through ads, through the fact that I have money to buy this thing, I should buy it. And then that builds and pawns itself, right? And then because you want more of it, you do things that allow you to get more of it. That greed becomes what runs you. And for me, I don't necessarily think I would be like that, but to say that without having the ability to, in terms of like, I don't have millions of dollars to spend, so I don't know if I would actually be like that, right? So it's partially a fear of becoming that, also partially like I've seen money ruin my own family. So like I have a disdain for it. My wife, she 100% like wants to live that life of luxury. I think that's fine too, but she also just wants to be comfortable, and I get that. but I just worry that will it ever be enough for either of us, right? That's stuff I deal with. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna try not to talk as much. Let's get back into it.
Money makes the world go round. Money makes a pure man lawless, proud. Money makes a man's verb consummate the noun. Cause an action to a thing is inspired by the pound or the dollar. False prophet, preach profit and we follow. When the scholar teach dishonor, that's a bit the pill to swallow. The biggest bank robber are the banks and the politicians, but judiciary are whores. What a shock when we lose.
Okay, again, maybe it's because I'm drugged up, but the visuals on this is actually pretty crazy with the angles. We have a lot of these, like, you can't see here, but this line behind him is essentially guiding the eyes to him, right? Obviously he's in the front of the camera, but and then there's lyrics too.
The world go round. Money makes a pure man lawless, proud. Money makes a man's verb consummate the noun. Cause an action
Money makes a man's verb conjugate the noun. Fire.
consummate the noun. Cause an action to a thing is inspired by the pound or the dollar. False
Action to a thing is inspired by the pound or the dollar. I mean, we just talked about that.
round. Money makes a pure man lawless, proud. Money makes a man's verb consummate the noun. Cause an action to a thing is inspired by the pound or the dollar. False prophet, preach profit and we follow. When the scholar teach dishonor, that's a bit the pill to swallow. The biggest bank robber are the banks and the politicians, but judiciary are whores. What a shock when we lose sight of live and let live. Forget your soul is made much richer by the love that you give. If you're living just to make a living, that's all that is. And when you're lying, slowly dying, will you die with a grin? Now dig it.
Man, I'm like dumbfounded by these angles, right? We see the stairs here, right? Again, points to him. I think the black and white helps with that. We have the elevator opening, which again brings kind of awareness to the background, but then it pulls you back to him because now we have him, his white on black background, right? Very like subtle artistic views. And then obviously this one with the building angle leading to him, right? And I mean, I'm not going to talk about the angle we're at right here, but let's continue. Sorry.
Let live. Forget your soul is made much richer by the love that you give. If you're living just to make a living, that's all that is. And when you're lying, slowly dying, will you die with a grin? Now digging up the root of evil, money too like a blade. You can slice across the jugular or carve and create. But when the money ain't the means, but the means is the money, you start to compromise ideals for dollars, morals get bloody. Now let me tell you a little story about a boy named Bren. Born March 1990 in the Celtic Welsh ends. We didn't have
1990.
and that they made enough to put hot meals on the table, fill our bellies full of love. A little sister fell into the picture. Oh my God, we loved her, made our family richer. Then we both got older, world a little colder. Life it had a way of chipping away at that shoulder. I held her and I told her, hierarchy, status exists. Sometimes the purity of youth gets snatched, leaving you stripped. You'll learn that love is not enough, it's not a world for a kid. So toughen up and buckle up because it's bumpy as shit. And there'll be those who take advantage of the light in your soul. And there'll be times you feel the cup you're filling leaking with holes. And that dark can get much darker, we all must grow old. But listen up my little sister, hold these words to your close. Keep that kind heart kind, humankind are in need. Never ever let this world make you bitter like me. Because this world needs love and love it leaks from you, see. Sis, this world needs light and you're the brightest I see. I see your wings have feather more than ever. Mine were torn by my oppressor, sickness scorned me but whatever. By your side we fly together, give me flight when I could never. A releasing of the pressure and the pressure makes a diamond. I will shine with you forever. Fuck greed, fuck depression, fuck bullies, fuck the jealous. Fuck every man who made you feel less than a treasure. And fuck a world.
Oh, dude, I did not expect this today. I literally just posted a video yesterday where like said I wouldn't get any more emotional, but you guys know like I have 3 kids, one of which is a daughter. The daughter was the firstborn. My biggest fear is like she's the sweetest little girl, right? She's a rule follower. She 100% has empathy. She gets that from me. She is always wanting to help everybody. And I fear that she's too sweet, you know? Like people get taken advantage all the time who are like that. I mean, hell, my mother-in-law is one of them. She's always wanting to help others in spite of herself. And my biggest fear is that my daughter's going to be bullied or whatever because of how nice she is, because of how like open-hearted she is. And the fact that let's face it, she's a woman coming into a world right now that's really torn, especially out here in America, man. Like, you guys know I'm a big advocate of like mental health, but men's mental health. So I don't necessarily always talk about like the other side of that coin, which is kind of the disdain still out there for women in general, but I worry for her so much. So I know he's talking about his sister, man, but like it hits me just thinking about my daughter. And my biggest fear being like I worry about her every day at school. It's something that every time, even though it's been seldom, she comes home and says like somebody's making fun of her or something, like my blood boils. And it's, as you guys know, anger is just essentially a tool or a secondary emotion that comes out to essentially like shield us from our actual emotions, right? So like that anger is really sadness. It's really like disappointment that this is happening to her. So I'm not supposed to be like this. I went from worrying about all the angles to feeling things. Let's continue. I'm going to back it up a lot.
Shit. And there'll be those who take advantage of the light in your soul. And there'll be times you feel the cup you're filling leaking with holes. And that dark can get much darker. We all must grow old. But listen up, my little sister. Hold these words to your close. Keep that kind heart kind. Humankind are in need. Never ever let this world make you bitter like me. Because this world needs love. And love it leaks from you, see. Sis, this world needs light. And you're the brightest I see. I see your wings have feather more than ever. Mine were torn by my oppressor. Sickness scorn me, but whatever. By your side we fly together. Give me flight when I could never. A releasing of the pressure, and the pressure makes a diamond. I will shine with you forever. Fuck greed, fuck depression, fuck bullies, fuck the jealous. Fuck every man who made you feel less than a treasure. And fuck a world that makes us feel small. Fuck the forces that divide us. Now's the time to stand tall. Because money makes the world go round. Money makes the sick boy sicker somehow. Money gets a man mug punched in his mouth. Money run the game. Money makes the world go round. Money makes the sick boy sicker somehow.
Money makes the sick boy sicker somehow. I mean, ironically, right? Ren's going through all this. He's becoming more successful. He hit #1 in UK charts. The Sick Boy album was fantastic. It was great. His stardom is skyrocketing. And he got sicker, right? And I'm not saying like the money caused that, but it's just ironic that with his success and obviously money with that came more problems, right? It's not a causation, but there's definitely like a coincidental correlation, I feel like.
Money gets a man mug punched in his mouth. Money run the gang, thug, drug money plow. Money makes open case close. Money bend love, make war, make goals. Money gives a poor man hope. Money saves lives, takes lives, money both. Money isn't, money's just that. Money's just a concept, people are trying. Tax up the poor man, feed up the fire. Money's just cash. Take money, take money, take money, take. Fake money, fake money, fake money, fake. Money ties, money ties, money ties, ayy. Money lies, money lies, money lies, ayy.
Let me let it finish. No people, no profit. Oh, I feel like the topic of like money and greed, I could literally spend a whole stream or like a whole day just discussing that. So maybe I'll make that a follow-up video to this. because on the channel I'm trying to mix things up and not just do reactions, like actually do deep dives on some of this stuff. So maybe I'll do that as another video. But I resonate with all of that. You know, like he even mentioned like money does save lives, but it also ruins lives, and it gives a poor man hope when really there shouldn't be any hope, because they tax the poor to feed the rich. He mentioned that as well. I'm going to talk about the visuals first, and then I'm going to get back to where I resonated again, because I think that portion of it, whilst what he's talking about money being an issue is important, I think that portion of where he's talking about his sister at the end of that really, really like hits home for me, and I think is an important thing, especially for somebody like me who's trying to like instill good values into their daughter without like scaring them, you know. Let's do the visuals before I get too far ahead of myself. So I mentioned this at the beginning, right? So even these bricks here, right? It's kind of a whites and grays with black on whites and grays. These are all artistic choices that him and his team made to kind of, you know, it's like an outline. There's a thing in photography, even in videography, where like you, well, not saturate. There's a correct phrase for it, but you're essentially sharpened by blurring. What that means is you're not sharpening the foreground, you're blurring the background, which therefore makes the foreground pop out. So there's something similar like that with color scheming. And again, I'm not an expert in the photography, videography portion like that, the technicalities of it. So I don't know if there's a word for it, but that's essentially what this is. You're bringing the foreground forward by the contrasting colors, right? Really cool. And again, here, this is kind of the opposite of it. He blends in to all of this while everything around him pops out, right? So that's a contrasting visualization. By the way, sick kicks, Ren. Always flexing with the drip. I think it's funny that the lines move. It's supposed to move up to his face, but I'm a freak, so that's not where my eyes go. But good thing the tie's there. This staircase is one of my favorite shots, right? Not only do you have this portion kind of leading up with the actual like cement lines going to him, but it's both ways. It's up and down, and it all leads to Ren here in the middle. Again, light whites and grays with dark black on top. All visualization, all pristine, all planned artistic choices. I mentioned this one already with the building right down to him. Really cool shot. Again, with the lines of the escalator to him. We have kind of his shirt blends in, but the hat here brings all of the focus to his face. I like this shot too, kind of him talking in the mirror, and you can actually see the cameraman right here, which is really cool. Whoops. What else? I love this shot. There's a name for this too in photography. We have a natural framing that brings, focus to your shot. I find it cool that it's kind of an opposite here, where all of the lightness is on the outside of the framing and all of the kind of darkness is within the frame, right? Again, contrasting. What else? This one's really cool. You have every single line here is pointing down, down, down. And there's a framing here to Ren. Really cool visually. I think that's pretty much all of it. Same thing here. Lines, all move to the center. Just like that shot. I think that's it for visualizing. But yeah, man, really cool visually, right? We got a black and white, but you can do a lot. Well, black, whites, and grays. But you can do a lot with those three colors and make it super artistic. And I think they did a very, very good job with that. That's the first thing I noticed. So that's what I want to talk about. Oh, now the heavy shit. Let's listen again to what he talked about specifically when he brings in his younger sister into it, and we'll talk about it.
Learn that love is not enough, it's not a the way of chipping away at that then we fell into the picture. Oh my god, we loved her, made our family richer. Then we both got older, world a little colder. Life it had a way of chipping away at that shoulder. I held her and I told her. Hierarchy, status exists. Sometimes the purity of youth gets snatched, leaving you stripped.
Hierarchy exists. Sometimes the purity of youth gets stripped away. Is that what he said?
Hierarchy, status exists. Sometimes the purity of youth gets snatched, leaving you stripped.
Yeah, man. I think especially for families that like grow up poor, like I'm lucky to have grown up to like my parents were divorced, right? And I remember I think I was like 16. I had a panic attack, and there's a reason I'm bringing this up. And you know, the basics for when a kid has a panic attack is I ask about the home and all these things. They're like, how are your parents? Well, they're divorced. Okay, well, how has that affected you? Like, what's your outlook on that? That's all they ask you. And my response was, well, look, I get 2 Christmases, I get 2 birthdays, I get 2 Thanksgivings, I get 2 of everything, right? Like, in that regard, like, I'm super blessed. I have 3 parents that love me, right? So, like, I grew up blessed in that form, and I wouldn't say we were necessarily poor. My mom and my stepdad were kind of well off. They were just horrible with creating their own debt. And then my dad was kind of, not only was he like lower middle class, but then he also had to pay child support, even though my mom made like way more than him type of thing. So like there's that. But I saw both sides of that coin is basically what I'm saying, right? Like a family that had what they needed to not only survive, but live luxuriously, and they threw it all away because of bad decisions and laziness. And then I saw the other side where it's struggling just to keep afloat and do the best they can for me. So I had that luxury of seeing both sides of it, right? And I know that for a fact, like my wife she grew up kind of in a single family home also, but her mom was always working to support the 2 kids. And my wife had to grow up really fast. Like she learned how to cook by herself by the 8 years old. And like she got her first job at 14. She's been working since she was 14. Like she had to grow up really fast. So I understand that whole position of sometimes because of money, you got to grow up real fast. Your youth goes away really quickly. You lose out on like all of the childhood stuff. And that brings into what's going to come up in a bit here, but let's get there.
Hierarchy, status exists. Sometimes the purity of youth gets snatched, leaving you stripped. You'll learn that love is not enough. It's not a world for a kid. So toughen up and buckle up because it's bumpy as shit. And they'll be
love is not enough. It's not a world for a kid is a sad statement, bro. It's a sad statement. Like, I feel like, and I'm not going to bring up political stuff, but I feel like there's a lot of things out there right now, especially in America, that parents and adults are trying to like lump in kids with that just need to let kids be kids in a lot of different regards. Like teaching them things is totally fine. Let kids be kids. That's it. Let kids be kids and let them be kids. So it's just to have to tell my 8-year-old daughter, like, you better buckle up. Life's hard. Like, that sucks, man. Like, it's the truth of the matter, but it sucks. All right, let's keep going.
Be those who take advantage of the light in your soul. And there'll be times you feel the cup you're filling leaking with holes. And that dark can get much darker. We all must grow old. But listen up, my little sister. Hold these words to your close. Keep that kind heart kind. Humankind are in need. Never ever let this world make you bitter like me. Because this world...
That resonates with me, bro. For the longest time, I was probably one of the more bitter people. My saying when I was in college, when I was deeply depressed, was like 85% of people are shitty human beings and the rest of them are just pretending to be good human beings, right? Like that was literally my mentality, was that human beings suck. And like I was bitter for a long time. And it's ironic that my my wife played a big part in this too, but my daughter specifically kind of totally changed my outlook on life, right? And like I said earlier, I don't want her to become bitter and think life sucks and think people suck just because of how she might get treated. When he says things like, don't become bitter like me, right? Keep that kind heart. Yeah, man. We try to instill that in her always. It's just, I worry for her often. I'm going to keep going so that I don't choke up.
Needs love and love it leaks from you, see. Sis, this world needs light and you're the brightest I see. I see your...
Yeah. Yep. And how caring she is and how loving she is, that can be contagious, and I don't want to stifle that, right? So it's like, where is that happy medium where we tell her like we need to be prepared for how hard life is, but also we don't want to diminish how like bright and how happy she is. Ren, why do you do this to me so often?
You bitter like me, because this world needs love and love it leaks from you, see. Sis, this world needs light and you're the brightest I see. I see your wings have feather more than ever. Mine were torn by my oppressor. Sickness scorn me, but whatever. By your side we fly together. Give me flight when I could never. A releasing of the pressure, and the pressure makes a diamond. I will shine with you forever. Fuck greed, fuck depression, fuck bullies, fuck the jealous. Fuck every man who made you feel less than a treasure. And fuck a...
Yep. I'm not going to repeat all those lines, but yeah, man. It just so happens that the last time she was made fun of happened to be a bunch of boys, and whether it's like kids' ways of flirting, whatever the hell it might be, but like it, you know, like obviously I'm not going to beat up a kid, but it fucking makes my blood boil.
Pressure, sickness scorn me, but whatever. By your side we fly together. Give me flight when I could never. A releasing of the pressure.
Give me flight when I could never. Yeah, man. My wife and my kids have 100% saved my life. I think I'm having a bad day or whatever, I can talk to any one of them or just like hang out with them, and the things that they do, and like I said, my daughter's brightness and all that kind of like changes my mood. That's contagious, man. You got to keep that going.
I see your wings have feather more than ever. Mine were torn by my oppressor. Sickness scorn me, but whatever. By your side we fly together. Give me flight when I could never. A releasing of the pressure, and the pressure makes a diamond. I will shine with you forever. Fuck greed, fuck depression, fuck bullies, fuck the jealous. Fuck every man who made you feel less than a treasure. And fuck a world that makes us feel small. Fuck the forces that divide us. Now's the time to stand tall.
I saw this earlier, but
Treasure. And fuck a world that makes us feel small. Fuck the forces.
look at all these tats, bro. I saw this during the video and I was like, that actually would be a sick tattoo, bro. Freckled angels symbol and then the sick boy symbol. I might actually do that, bro.
That divide us. Now's the time to stand tall, because money makes the world go round. Money.
Okay. All right, we're done. Oh my god. So yeah, man, it's funny and ironic that I literally posted a video yesterday saying like, you know, through therapy and the healing and stuff, I'm not going to be as emotional. Maybe it's the fact that I'm a little bit drugged up today, or the timing of this is uncanny, but that's the thing about Ren's music, is he finds a way to take his own experiences, still make them pretty like specific to him, but told in a general way, or like in a succinct way that it, you know, it speaks to the general masses, which is a gift in and of itself, right? Like the fact that you can say your story, and even though it's pretty like particular to your specific story, you can tell that story in a way that resonates with pretty much anybody, right? And I think anybody who's lying and says that they've never been through hardship is like, they're lying, like I just said, but they're also in denial. I didn't even talk about the music. So maybe in the follow-up video, I'll talk about the music. The beat and the overall production was sweet. I like these simple beats with the piano and kind of just, you know, a drum pattern in the back. because it doesn't take away from the message in this one, and this message is important. So all around good one. Please stop, Ren. No, I appreciate Ren for, in the midst of all his health issues, to keep grinding these out, not for us but for himself. And I hope he I hope he's able to get healing and just get through these health issues, man. It sucks that he's kind of seeing his success happen and he kind of has to take a break from it. I feel for the dude, man. He doesn't deserve it at all. Anyways, if you liked this reaction, please make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell on my channel. Helps the channel out a lot. Make sure you go to Ren's channel, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Support the artist, the original artist. That's the main reason for this channel. And if you liked this reaction, I have a bunch more on Patreon. In fact, one of my biggest ones right now is my deep dive into High Ren. I talk about the chords, the chord structure, the song structure. I actually go and try to attempt the intro for High Ren as well, but it's a long 1 hour video just kind of deep diving into the song and kind of how all the parts flow. So it's really interesting, and I have a lot of other content like that on my Patreon. So if you like my content and you feel like you want to support, it's a great help, but it's not expected or required, so I do appreciate that a lot. All right, I'm spent. I'm gonna go drink my coffee and wind down before I do some more reactions. I appreciate the love and support. Thank you so much, and please do remember that good vibes are contagious.